Instead
This
of pipeline,
conference will now be recorded.
pipeline
I think
parallelism is
yes,
completed, right?
yes.
Okay, so component parallelism is next one. Okay. So component parallelism is right. We're talking about components running in parallel with without any dependency to each other flow. Okay, so if you see in this process in this graph, this branch is available. This branch of components and the other branch of components are running in parallel. So that is where component parallelism will comes into picture. And even pipeline parallelism will be present in this graph by default. As I said, every graph will be available with this feature, pipeline parallelism behavior.
Okay.
Okay, so in this graph, as we have multiple branches of components, we are saying component parallelism is present. Okay, otherwise, if you have a sequence of components, we won't have component parallelism. Okay, this is one flow where two branches are connecting again to join component, and then we are creating one output file. If you have a graph with multiple branches, okay, suppose say we have branch one. Okay, we have one set of components. We have one more set of components, and we have one more set of components. So these are different data flows. So this is also having component parallelism. Got it?
Yeah.
So this is also component parallelism. This is also available with the component parallelism as these parallel flows are running at the same time.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, along with it, we'll have pipeline parallelism also. The component to component, right? The data processor records will be moving from one component to other component.
Hmm.
So coming to the data parallelism, the last one. This will comes into picture when we have multifiles in the graph.
Yeah.
Okay, when we have multifiles in the graph, we can say we have the data parallelism in our process. Okay, so this is the global view. What we can see, the graph will looks like this. Okay,
Yeah.
the graph will looks like this. So my source is a multifile and output is a multifile.
Okay.
I have the components available. So this example is having a multifile with the three partitions. Okay. Ideally, we won't have three partitions being maintained as our in our projects, but it will be two-way multifile, four-way multifile, 2 power n.
Okay.
Okay, so but this is a three-way multifile example. But if you have the graph like this, okay, at runtime, how it runs is this way: expanded view. In
Okay.
expanded view, you can see that there are multiple inputs. So we have three partitions. So our input is three partitions.
Hmm.
Okay, and the output is writing to the three different partitions of the output file.
Hmm.
Okay, but the components which are existing in between the source and target, they act like a multiple instances. Each component work like a three components. Okay, they work with each and every partition. Okay, they work with each and every partition. So this way, your reading of each partition, processing of each partition, writing to the output file is happening in parallel.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you would have understand why the multifiles are having an advantage, what kind of advantage we will be having it.
Yes. Hmm.
not having a multifile, so then if the time taken by serial files is having 60 minutes, with this multifiles, you might be achieving 1/3. Why? Because you're processing 3 partitions in parallel.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that way the process will be faster as we processing at the same time. Okay, that's why whenever we have the large data, we will try to convert into a multifile, and then we'll get an advantage of this data parallelism. If we have 8 partitions, 8-way multifile with the same graph,
Yes.
if it's 8-way multifile, we'll be picking up, right? We'll be processing 8 partitions at the same time.
Oh.
Okay, so that way, whenever you work with these components, okay, so data parallelism, so the data processing will be faster. Reading, processing, writing to the partitions at the same time will be happen.
Oh.
Okay, in this graph we'll have multifiles. So we have data parallelism, and even we have the pipeline parallelism also existing.
We can also say component parallelism also.
No component parallelism, right? So if your graph contains multiple
No, no, I'm
rows
saying
of components,
expanded view.
hmm?
In expanded view, we can say even component parallelism is there, right?
No, that is not the component parallelism. Okay, so component parallelism should be there in the global view, in actual graph region of the graph.
Okay.
Okay, so to create this multifiles, we're going to work with the partitioning components.
Okay.
So we have several components available for partitioning. Out of all these, we will use a couple of components to create the multifiles.
Okay.
Okay, that is partition by key and partition by round robin. Okay, only these two components will be used to prepare the multifiles.
Okay.
Okay, but rest of the components we'll see. Okay, we'll understand what is the purpose and all. Okay, first we'll see with the partition by key. So this component will have key as a parameter. This component will have key as a parameter. So whatever key you have defined it, department number here. So as per the keys, the data will be split into multiple partitions. Okay, as per the key, the data will be split into multiple partitions. So when we say key, the key valued records. So there is a department number 10. So these department number 10 records will get loaded into one partition of a multifile. Only in one partition of a multifile. So maybe if it is loading in the partition 0, all the records of 10 department will go and load into partition 0 only. Okay, but if it is getting loaded into partition 1, so all the 20 departments are getting loaded into partition 1 only. Okay, so it will follow hash algorithm and then load the records into partitions. So if you are looking for any specific partition data, that resides in the one single partition, but not in all the partitions. Okay, so it's like a grouping. So we group them based on the key records. So all the 10 went to one partition, 20, and then 30 also went into the partition 1. Okay, so even we have a number of key valued records available, but as per the data, it gets distributed across this partition 0 and partition 1. Okay, so if we have a couple of keys, suppose say we are considering department number plus location also. So if we have couple of keys, then this both the keys, right? If you're considering, then this is like two groups. Okay, this is like a two
Yes.
groups. Okay, then you can expect one group of records in one partition, and you can expect one other one in the next partition.
Okay, okay.
Okay, this is a partition by key, how it does. So key based, it will keep all the records and then store it in the one specific partition.
So only one key will be in one partition. If you are
Mhm.
giving multiple keys, then it will take multiple keys as one key and it will keep everything in a different partition.
That means two fields.
Only two. So suppose we are giving 10, and then state and maybe the fast name. So
Mhm.
it will take only 10 in one partition, then the state name will be in one partition and fast name will be in one partition. It will be like this.
No, why you're splitting the columns?
Sorry?
Why you're splitting the columns data? It's record wise, right? How you have to think.
Okay.
It's record wise. Even though you have 10 fields in a file, you can have a single column as a key. You can have a composite key contains 4 columns. But it
Yeah.
is a record, right? All the 4 fields is a one record. In the one
Yes.
record, we have selected 4 fields which are as a key columns.
Okay.
Then
So
why
it,
you thinking about one field will go into one partition, second field will go to second partition? It's a record wise it has to go, right?
okay. So if you are giving four fields, it will
Hmm.
take four values and keep it in one partition. It's like that.
Four fields grouping. So here I am taking two fields.
Hmm.
How many groups we have?
Two field, 10.
Two.
Huh.
10 and NY is one group.
Hmm. Yeah.
10 comma FL is one group.
Yes.
So you can expect these two records in one partition, and this can go into next different partition.
Okay. Okay. Here it is not like column wise, I think. It is
No,
value
you.
wise.
How can you divide the data in column base? How you are thinking, Rosie?
I'm thinking like, for example, if there is a input value, input file with department number, let's say, and the state. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking like it will group them and it will find the unique records. Each group, it will keep it in one group like that. I was thinking.
Its grouping is correct, but the way it will grouping is as per the keys only, right?
Yes.
As per the keys only, it will distribute.
Maybe if I'll do practically, if I'll see, na, it will be understandable more. Okay.
No, no, no. Don't go that way. Now itself, if you're not clear, you let me know. You try to understand this thing here itself. When I
Okay.
do the practical, you have to answer me those things.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying, for example, we have input file. We have 10, 10, 10, 20, 20. Mm, okay.
Okay, so it's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. I have my data like this.
Your screen share is gone.
Gone.
Hmm. Huh.
Hmm. Okay, so consider that these are the three different fields I have: F1, F2, F3.
Hmm.
Okay, my keys are F1 and F3. Okay, my keys are F1 and F3.
Hmm.
So how many groups we have?
So we have three groups.
So my key columns are
F1 and F3.
F1 and then F3.
Hmm.
Okay. So when we have these two as a keys, so how many distinct groups we have combination?
Three.
1, 1,
Hmm.
1 CHN, 2 BNG, and then 3 BNG.
Hmm.
Okay. So there are three groups.
Okay.
Okay. So what is your understanding now?
I was understanding maybe in the first partition we will have one A CHN,
Hmm.
one B CHN,
Hmm.
one C CHN.
Hmm.
And in second group we will have 2M BNG, 2J BNG. And in
Hmm.
third we will have 3L BNG, 3L BNG. But last three records are exactly same. That's okay. It will go to the third group.
Hmm. So like I have two partitions only, suppose say. Then
Okay, if you have two partition, then this one will go to where? Trash, huh?
not trash. It will go to the same partition. So that means you have 100 groups means you can create 100 partitions.
That's what also I was about to.
If I have 8 partitions, you'll create 8 partitions and then you leave all the other data.
No.
So how I told you here? How did this been adjusted here as per the data?
Okay. All the tens in one group, all the other values in one group.
20 and 30 went to this other partition or not? It is
Yes.
the same case here also. So
Uh,
this might go to P0 or P1. Okay, let's say that this went to P0.
okay.
This way it will be distributing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole record wise, not like okay F1, F3 and go with P0 and all. It's a record, whole record will go.
So it will go to P0 or P1, but there is no logic we have given. It will go automatically to somewhere, P0 or
That's what
P1.
I'm saying, right? Hash algorithm it will follow internally and then it will decide it.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So we will create a multi-file using the partitioning component. So serial file, using the partitioning component, convert into a multi-file.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you converted a multi-file, you use that multi-file for the next graph as an input and then keep on creating the multi-file as an output again. Okay. So that way it will take this process till you load the data into the database. Multi-files will be going and maintained.
What is this RLP?
Roll-up component.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So next is partition by round robin. So this component will have block size parameter as 1. So that's the default value what we have it. And this will be considering like one record as a group.
Hmm.
So the first record will go to P0, next record will go to P1.
Oh.
Again P0, P1.
Hmm.
Okay, this way the distribution will be happened. And if we have only one record at last, maybe suppose right, P0 again P1. This will go to the P0 and for P1 it won't be having any record.
Hmm.
Okay, that's the distribution how it happens with the partition by round robin.
Hmm.
But if you increase the value to understand, instead of 1, you make it as 2, that means 2 records will be considered as a group.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
Two records. So this is a block.
Hmm.
This is a block.
Hmm.
Okay, that way it will be pushing the data into partitions.
Hmm.
Okay, so these two components will be using it to prepare the multi-files. Okay, and then we have the next component with the partition by expression.
I have a question. So this
Mm,
partition by round robin block size, for example, we have around 20 records, and we are giving the block size as maybe we are giving the block size as 6. Okay.
mhm,
So in
mhm.
that case, 20 records will first three partition will have six record, and the last one will have only two records.
If it's a four-way multi-file.
Yeah, or a one record, something like that. So in
Hmm.
that case, it is not even, but still it is okay.
Yeah, it will be okay.
Okay, because I heard round robin means exact same. That's why I wanted to check. Okay.
But that's why we won't change the value of this, right? Block size value.
Mm.
Just to understand, I explained you further with the block size as 2. And
Yeah.
you took the example of 6 and you're doing it.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, we won't change the things, right? So if you're not changing it, mostly it will be similar, right?
Similar, right? Only
If it's
one.
a 4-way multiplier, 8-way multiplier, only with one record, it will be differing with any partitions.
Mm. Yes.
Then whatever you heard is right, right.
Mm.
Okay, so partition by expression is having a function parameter. So you write an expression how to distribute the records. So based on the condition, if this condition is satisfied, the records will go to 0. That's P0. Else P1, right? 1 means P1.
Mm.
Okay, so you're writing the condition. But while creating the multifile, no one will give you any conditions, right? To as a requirements. You write so and so condition and load them into P0
Mm.
and write some condition and then load them into P1 and all. Okay, so if you write it this way, this will go to the respective partitions as I said. Okay, but I won't write this kind of conditions and then try to split the records, right? Why? Because we don't know the data, complete data, end-to-end data, how it
Mm.
looks like.
Mm.
Okay, so based on the records and conditioning and all right, it will be very tough to create the multifiles using this component. Okay,
Okay.
but just to understand, we are writing some condition here. Okay, if for 10 or 30 go to 0 else 1 and all.
Mm.
But this will be creating the partitions, right? Very unevenly, right? Maybe one partition might be having very less number of records. One partition might be having very a huge volume of data. We don't
Mm.
know.
Mm.
Okay, so that is not relevant one, right? To create the multifiles with this component. But we use this component like to split the data into multiple output files, serial output files.
Mm.
So we learned about this component,
Output indexes and
output index,
mm.
right? The way you use
And
it.
also, so if the input file is like not very large, in
Mm-hmm.
that case we can use Rollup component and understand like how many department numbers are there. Like we can understand the numbers, how many groups.
Mm-hmm.
Accordingly, we can use it if needed. This partition by
I won't
expression.
use it. I don't want to go with that logical things.
Mm.
You are checking only one file, right? What about the future files which are coming up?
Yes.
You don't know, right? It's not like every time you will get the only those number of departments and all.
Mm.
Okay, tomorrow it will come with different data, right? Data will be keep on changing every time.
Okay.
Okay, it's only if it's a only thing you have it in, and if you're asking for any other options, we have it. We'll be
Mm.
able to tell that one, right? But we won't use it for even implementations.
Yeah. Got it. Not recommended one. Okay.
Not recommended. We are not using it.
Okay.
Okay, that should be your answer.
Mm.
Okay, so we write the conditions here, and then we are writing into the different serial output files. Okay, so this is as good as you do a filter by expression component, but here we are writing to multiple outputs, right? Based
Mm.
on the conditions.
Yes.
So if you want to use the filter component, but I want to separate them into multiple outputs, then I can choose with this component partition by expression.
Yeah.
Next is partition by percentages. So this will have the percentages as a parameter. You can define the percentages, right? So let's say that I have 4 multifile. I'll define 3 percentages. Okay, so 10, 20, 30. So if it's a four-way multifile, you will mention 3 percentages. Okay, so 1% value we will not give it. That percentage of records will be whatever leftover records that will go to the last partition.
Okay.
Okay, so like 10% means out of the way we have it. Okay, so 10% is like it will round off the val records. Okay, and then that will
Hmm.
be going to the 30 records.
Hmm.
Okay, that will be going to the 30 records. So 30 records will go to the
First part.
P0, 60 go to P1, and then 90 will go to the P2, and the rest of the records will go to the last partition.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so even this component I will not use it to divide and all. If you want to
Hmm.
divide them into equally and all, right, then you can give 25% each,
Hmm.
and then that will be splitting almost similar.
Is there any practical usage of this particular partition by percentage component or nothing like that?
We will not use it as I said initially.
Yeah, but why it is there? That's why. Because anyway, we can use it round robin and have the equal partitioning.
Now we have equivalent components, right? We will not use it. That's why.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, partition with load balance. So this will be loading the data into the each and every partition. So while loading, it will be the each and every partition processing will be happen with the help of different CPUs of your corporate system. Okay, so every CPU might not be having the same load workload. Some CPUs might be having less load. Some CPUs might be having high load.
Mm.
Okay, so it depends on that. The CPUs will be responding and then processing the data. Okay, if
Okay.
the CPU is having less volume of load and all, right, then it will be processing faster. If the CPU is having more work, then it will take more time. So instead of while doing that, if you are keeping a component like a partition with load balance, it will balance the data. That means it will try to understand that whichever CPU is having less load. Okay, so it will send the records, more records to this CPU.
Mm.
Okay, and then get it done, right, the processing faster with the help of that flow. Okay, that way it will balance the records, right, between the partitions, which partitioning processing is finishing faster, right, that will
Mm.
have more records, it will be pushed up by this component. So even this is not having any parameters, but yeah, if it is at the runtime behavior based on that, right, it will be distributing the data across the partitions. Okay, and then we have broadcast. Broadcast is like a replicate.
Yeah.
We have all the records, whatever records you have it, every record, all the partitions. So if you want to perform any replicate operation, right, when you work with the multifiles, then I'll think about broadcast component.
Mm-hmm.
So broadcast and replicate will be looks like same, but as per the functionality. But the only thing is, my replicate will support component level parallelism, and this will support data parallelism. Broadcast will support data parallelism. Okay,
Okay.
other than that, nothing else. But they might be asking this question, right? What is the difference between this replicate and broadcast? Okay, so these are the 2 points which you have to say. It will do both will perform the replicate operation, right? But the wherever however it supports the parallelism, right, that will differ between these two components.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as we are talking about partitioning components, we have the departitioning components also.
Mm.
Okay, so these departitioning components are like opposite to the partitioning.
Okay.
So we have the multi-file available. If I want to convert into a serial file, then I can use the departitioning component. Okay, so these departitioning components are like gather, interleave, concatenate, merge components. So one usage is to convert a multi-file to a serial file, and
Okay.
other usage is you can combine the flows into a single flow.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You have multiple flows coming up. Okay, we can combine them with using the departitioning component. But the only thing is all the flows should have the same DML. Then
Okay.
only I can merge it. Okay. So these are the right two different ways how I have this right departitioning components usage using it. So most of the times, multi-file to conversion to a serial file won't be happen right more. Why? Because once we converted into a multi-file, mostly I want to use it as a multi-file only, so that I will get an advantage of data parallelism.
Okay.
Okay, but wherever you want to combine the flows and all, then you can think about this repartitioning components.
Okay.
Okay, so if you say the gather component, it doesn't have any parameters. It's a random selection again. If you suppose you have P0 partition, P1 partition,
Hmm.
it will pick randomly any record,
Oh,
and then it will be loading into a serial output file.
okay.
Okay, so this is gather. Okay, and it can go in any order, no specific order and all. Okay, with this gather component. Go with the interleave component. This is opposite to the partition by round robin.
Okay.
So this will be having the block size as 1. Okay, the block size parameter is 1. So if I defined right block size as 1, so the way you distribute the records into each and every partition, it's a reverse process
Yes,
here.
it will take from each and every one by
Uh,
one.
Pick one partition and then load into output, right? Pick the next partition data and then load into output. Right? That way it will pick it up. And we have concatenate. So this concatenate will be to appending the inputs. Okay, so it will read first all the records from the in 0, right? That is P0 and then P1
This is concatenate. Okay.
concatenate.
Hmm. Concatenate and merge look same.
Now merge will be different again, right? Merge will be having the key. If you have the sorted data, if you want to maintain the sorted order, then you can go with the merge component.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it will sort the data. So
Hmm.
this data on on this key data, right? Again, if it is having the sorted data again, then the data will be maintained with the help of merge component.
Hmm.
Okay. So mostly you can will be using concatenate or right gather component.
Concatenate में it is not sorted. Merge में it is sorted. That is the only difference.
Right, right.
Okay. And in merge you will have a key. It's a mandatory field, क्या?
Mandatory field, correct.
Okay.
And one more thing is we talk about within the rollup. Okay, one function. Okay,
Concatenate
there's a small
function is.
correction in it. No
Hmm.
accumulation, right? We use the accumulation here. Okay,
Hmm.
so I I told like we are having a vector join function on top of it, right? So not vector
Hmm.
join, it's a string join.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, this is one correction, right? So that's the only change we have it.
Okay. And you said like you will come back with a. Just go to that page.
Hmm.
Yeah, here you said come down. Yeah, that
Hmm.
out product concatenation function in
Hmm.
product comma one comma is there, right?
This will have the three arguments.
Three arguments. So first one will be input value,
Hmm.
and the second one is what? That's
One
what
is a
we are.
condition, true condition. You do
In,
the concatenation, right?
okay.
For the true condition, will pass the one.
Your
Okay,
true
so
condition is
one
one
means true, zero means false. Okay, you can pass it as one.
means it will take all the product from input. It's like that. In condition will be applied where?
You want to perform the concatenation do means you have to use that one only always.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. I thought if any condition is given or something, okay, then fine.
Okay, so we'll go with some examples, right? How we will be using it. Okay, so first of all, I'll show you something on the component. Now the partitioning and departitioning components will be in the existing in the single folder in the current versions. Okay,
Mm,
here itself you see partition is existing in one folder and departition is existing in a different folder.
mm,
Okay, but you'll be in the single folder.
mm.
I'm taking the key as a department number so that it will group them based on the department number data. Okay, and there is a multi-file. Okay, you have multi-file directory. Okay, let me show how to create the multi-file structure in the Windows.
Mm,
Okay, so we have multi-file directory structure already available, but let me recreate it again. So in your C drive, in the Abinitio folder,
mm,
okay, you'll have the temp folder. Here itself, we are creating the files and all the time.
mm,
Okay, so let me clear up some files which are not needed here. These are file watcher files, GD watchers are.
mm,
Okay, you'll find a couple of folders like P0, P1. Okay, so this is P0 and this is P1. So this is partition 1 path. Okay, and this is partition 0 path. So these
okay.
two folders, I will remove them for now. Okay, go back to the out of this temp and then you'll find MFS folder. Okay, so this is like a main control file path.
Mm,
Okay, so I'll remove this as well. Now I'll try to create the okay. Now MFS has been defined removed. Okay, go for run option. We have an option called as execute command option, which is F8. So this option we can use in different ways. Okay, so this F8.
mm,
Okay, one is simply I want to evaluate some function. Okay, so meval string length of, okay, I had given this to check what is the output of this string length. Okay, I can get the output. Okay, I can get the output which is 8. This is one of the usage. I can use this command for F8. Okay, other one is like I can run any Unix commands also. Okay, let's say that I am one of the specific sandbox. I can do cd dot a serial and then touch a dot that file. I can remove. I can touch a file. I can remove a file. I can list out the what are the files we have it in this path and all, right? I can do everything. As we're giving multiple commands, you use a semicolon here in between. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Unix operations also can be possible without going to the Unix environment. You can run those things and then check on the data, whatever you want to do it, right, within the F8. So now the third usage is, now we are creating the multi-file system here. So multi-file system creation, we learned one command, m_score mkfs. Okay, and then you talk about the control file, and then we have to mention about the data files. Okay, so now you can run this command m_score mkfs. So the control file path is nothing but in the Abinitio folder of C drive. I'm creating the MFS as a folder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So C Abinitio is already available. MFS folder will get created now. Okay. And other thing is we have to give the two partition locations, right? P0, P1. So I'm just giving P0, P1. So as I'm not giving the path, this will go to the default directory, which is a temp path in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And then it creates the P0, P1 locations folders. Okay. It's running. Done. So it got created. You go to the check and Ab initio folder. You can find the MFS folder. It's been created. And in the temp location, you'll find the PGDB1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I will use this multi-file structure directory location right here. So normally, how do we define them? M file colon, and then we define the $amfs and then file name. But here, as it we are using in the Windows, right? So C colon / Abinitio MFS, and then you give the file name. Okay, you can run the job now. Okay, so we have two-way multi-file. That's why it's showing us 2 here on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you try to see the view data here, by default it will show all the partitions. Here you can see all the partitions being selected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I'm interested to see only the partition 0 data, right, I can choose this data button and then choose n all the records. Then it will show only the P0 data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 9 records are existing. So when we try to see the other partition also, we can increase this. Click on OK. Okay, these 5 are existing here. So total 14 records are my input. Okay, this way you can create the partitions. So when you see the data also here, right? So like if I see the partition 1 data,
Mm-hmm.
what is the department number data we have it?
20.
20. So when we see the partition 0,
I think 10.
other partitions 10 and 30. Okay.
Acha.
Okay, so this we understand. Okay.
So, and Kumar, like you said, right? Once to understand how many ways the multi-file partition is, we have to go to one path and find out the number, depth. Okay.
Mhm.
So, how to check that depth?
Which depth?
You said, right? The depth we have to go and check AI underscore MFS values or something. Or
Mhm.
so, is there any manual way of going there, or here only we have to see two like that? It is two way.
I told one comments, right? Multiple comments. Have you gone through it?
No.
It's not a matter for me to again tell to me. Okay, right now itself. Okay, go through those sessions.
Okay.
Okay, I cannot remind you everything, right? Or once explained also, right? Again and again in the sessions.
Yeah, yeah, I will go through. I'll ask. Yeah.
Partition is the command we have to use it. I
Um,
told you that is the interview question, and you're again asking me to that. What is that answer?
I don't know. I have not gone to the last
And though
session.
you don't go to with anywhere, okay? If you when you will be going with all those things,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
will pile up all the things.
No, no. I will go through today itself.
Go through it once again. If you have any question, go through it again immediately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm.
I can tell 100 times, but it's up to you. When until you put on your shoes, you won't know what it
Yeah.
is.
Uh-huh. I will go through. This is a very important concept actually, that partition concept.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, important only. Yeah, and that's why we take some time, good enough time, right, to take given examples of all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm covering up all the things just to make sure that nothing is getting missed.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, many a times people won't create these multifiles also in the Windows environments when they're teaching. Okay,
Mm.
I got to know that, but here we are trying to put as much as we understand, right? And then we'll go with the scenarios also. That makes you good understanding in the partitioning also.
Yeah, Kumar, actually, one thing, maybe you are getting late. Quickly, I'll tell you. Actually, I got a call for ETL testing. Okay, testing
Mm-hmm.
question.
Hmm.
I thought to check with you. So now there is no point of going to ETL testing interviews, right? Because nowadays the testing value is also getting decreased, and also the learning what I'm putting in testing, it is not useful, right? So
Hmm.
what should I do? I should say no to that interview, or like I should go ahead?
Okay, there are two options. Okay, there are a couple of options we have it. Why we are learning Abinitio?
Because I want to go to development side of it.
Development. Okay,
Mm,
that part is there on your mind. Okay,
yes.
but you got an opportunity with the ETL testing. At the
Mm.
same time, you're going to have some end date for the current job,
It's on Tuesday.
right? So
Mm.
maybe next week, after
This
one day,
Tuesday. Yes.
right? After one day, you will be ending up your job, current job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For a time being, if you want to go ahead with your ETL testing, go ahead
Mm.
with that job.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, you will be in the track of still trying with the job opportunities for the with this ab initio development.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get it, you can work on that project, ETL testing if you got it.
Mm-hmm. But I am very I'm very last company I left just because I did not get the desired role. So I was thinking like I will take some time. If it is not possible, 1 month, 2 months also I will take, but I will join to the development profile only, because once I'll go to testing, it will be
Hmm.
difficult for me to dedicate myself all this time and all.
Then you should that's what you got your answer.
That's why I just wanted to reconfirm with you, because
Uh, so
every time.
if you want to join with any job meanwhile, and then you have a put 100% dedication on trials also at the same time, you try it, you get your job. Meanwhile, you work with this ETL testing if you got it.
Yeah.
You did not attend any interview, right? You did not
No, no,
confirm
no. I
any.
just got a call, but I did
Got a
not.
call only. But if you attended it, you have to again see how much we will go through it.
Yeah, if you'll go to ETL testing interviews, that will be complete different thing altogether, right? They will ask.
Altogether, it will be different again, right? What again? You have to explain what kind of
Hmm.
things you have done in testing point of view and all.
Yeah, so leave it. Then I'm not going.
They need something
Hmm.
working people.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not like they want people. They want
Hmm.
people who will work in their project with their
Hmm.
skill set matching.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so even though you attended, it doesn't mean that you will get an offer immediately. We don't know, right? You may get also.
Hmm.
If you get what you have to do, if you don't get what you have to do, right? So everything we have to think about all the conditions.
Hmm. No, no. Then it's clear that I am not. Even if
You are
I'm getting.
almost able to write completing right these topics and all, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
it's up to you. You put on hands on and then try with the seriously with the development projects.
I think 1 month will be enough for me to crack an interview here in development.
Hmm.
So better to wait and go for a better
Yeah, yeah,
opportunity.
go with this. Wait and go, right? But meanwhile, while you're waiting, you finish up your right practice, enough practice and all, right? With the
Yes.
interview questions and all that, you
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, actually, this last 2 3 days, I'm going through all the exit formalities, right? So
Hmm.
all these things, I'm taking care of all the documents and all of. That's why I'm not getting lot of time to practice. But after this Tuesday, I will be full fledgedly doing this.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Mm.
Okay, so round robin again. This is a as I said, this is one of the component having block size parameter as one by default. Okay, I'm not changing it.
Hmm.
I'll just run the job as it is.
7 7. Okay.
Okay, if you see this, okay, we have 7 records. We are checking the partition 0 data here, right?
Hmm.
So first record is 736 and what it is showing up here, and then we have 7521.
Hmm.
Okay, so for my understanding, what I'll do is I'll put some replicate component here. Okay, so I put a watcher on this flow over this trash component right towards it, and then I'll try to run the job and see.
Okay.
Okay, so let's create one output file itself. Okay, 7369 and 7521. Okay,
Hmm.
you can see the first record and then next 7521. Maybe the next record will be 7654.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
that way it will be distributed in the data.
Yes, one by one. One
One by
there,
one.
one. Like, so when you connected
Mhm.
trash, you cannot view data, right, on trash, or can we view data also?
No, we have to use the watcher, right? Flow on
Oh,
data
what?
flow.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. This partition component doesn't have any select. It only have the function. That's what one.
This function you will write a condition here.
Oh.
Okay, department 10 go to 0, P0, else P1.
Hmm.
Okay, rest also in the other partition. Okay, so we have to go with the scenarios. Okay,
Hmm.
with the partitioning components. Okay, so even if you want to use the multi-file to serial files conversions and all, right, you can use those departitioning components and then use it. Okay, so we'll connect on right next Monday,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow
Yes,
morning time or evening time? Like which time for you best?
one time only. Your regular time.
Okay, fine. So tomorrow
Okay.
we'll go ahead with departition file, departition component. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Sorry. Okay. And Kumar,
departitioning components. Yeah.
I will go to the assignments. We will talk about it maybe next day, Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, you go through it. If you have any questions, we can talk.
Okay.
Okay. And from for next week, right? The timing would be 1 hour before. Okay. That means
5:30. Acha.
5:30. Okay. So I'll
Why
connect at 7
you're
o'clock.
okay with that day? Morning. You're okay?
Yeah, yeah, 7 o'clock is okay for me.
Okay, fine then. Okay.
Okay. I'll
Okay,
let
Kumar.
Raghu also know the same time.
Okay,
Okay.
sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And Kumar, like when we'll talk about project.
I'll talk. I remember that. Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk.
Okay.